legend. Really cool word. It's a story that's passed down from generation to generation. Usually historical. It might center around an event. Okay, so in our story we're going to read today, it's a legend, but usually not authentically true, if that makes sense. This book, authentically true, not a legend. Okay, this book, a legend. It's really cool. It's an old Pennsylvania Dutch legend, and it's called The Story of the Easter Robin. I don't know if you can hear some birds around me. We just discovered a nest over in our bush right over here, and the sun's starting to go down tonight. This is Monday evening, so I don't know if any birds are singing, but they were a few minutes ago. But we're going to read this, and I'm hearing them across, so I'm going to turn this way because it's a really cool story. All right, The Story of the Easter Robin. It's a 3.9 leveled book. 137099 is the AR number. If you want to take an AR test, you know Miss Still would love that. The Story of the Easter Robin. Get my glasses. What's the matter with her, Gran? Tressa and her grandmother had watched two robins carry twigs, cat hair, and string to build a nest on Gran's window ledge. Now the bird wiggled, tail twitching, while its red-orange breast rose and fell. That Mama's just molding her nest for a good fit, Gran answered. But Tressa worried. It was still 2 weeks until Easter. A million things could go wrong when a robin tried to nest this early. The next day, Tressa ran straight to Gran's after school. Gran showed her the surprise. In the center of the nest lay one perfect egg, the color of a spring sky. The father robin sat on a branch nearby, guarding his family. Tressa spotted raccoon tracks below and a blue jay eyeing the nest. Gran, how are we going to keep the eggs safe? We'll have to leave that one to the Creator, Gran said. Over the next 3 days, the robin laid 3 more eggs. Tressa watched the mother robin nudge her eggs before huddling onto them. Turning her eggs keeps them from freezing, Gran explained. See the bare spot on her red breast? God made her so she could warm her babies through that brood patch. Tressa hoped that would be enough. The day before Easter, a cold snap hit. Frost laced the window pane and whitened the nest. Now the eggs will never hatch, Gran, Tressa cried. We'll have to trust the one who watches the sparrows and the robins, Gran said. Now come with me. It's about time we saw to some other eggs. Gran got some eggs from her refrigerator. She poked tiny holes in the top and bottom of each egg. Then she blew the gooey insides into a bowl, leaving the shells in one piece. I'll show you how to make Ostervogel, Easter birds. It's an old Pennsylvania Dutch tradition I learned from my granny. Tressa blew half-heartedly on her egg. All she could think about were the real eggs outside in the cold. Maybe you want to try this. You have to ask Mom first, okay? It's really cool. Gran dipped her egg into blue tinted water. When she lifted the shell from the dye, it was robin's egg blue. Tressa knew Gran and God cared as much about those baby robins as she did, and Gran wasn't worried. Tressa tried blowing out her egg again. This time it worked. Gran grinned over at her. Since we have robins on our minds, how would you like to hear the legend behind the robin's red breast? Tressa dipped her egg into the dye while Gran began her story. Around 2,000 years ago, a plain robin, brown robin, was flying over Jerusalem when he heard angry shouts from the streets below. Swooping down to see what the fuss was about, he caught sight of a man beaten and bent under the weight of a wooden cross. I know this man, thought the robin. All Earth's creatures except humans recognize Jesus, the Creator, God, come to Earth. Let me see the picture. At first, the robin thought he saw a nest on Jesus' head. But when he soared closer, he understood. The nest was a cruel crown of thorns. I must help the master, thought the robin. But what could he do? Jesus stumbled as a whip snapped. He fell, and the thorny crown dug into his head. The robin, filled with compassion, flew at the crown and tried to knock it off Jesus' head, but the crown wouldn't budge. It was then that the robin noticed one long thorn sticking into Jesus' forehead. The bird gathered its strength, grabbed the thorn in its beak, and tugged. The thorn gave way, and as it came out, a drop of Jesus' blood fell onto the robin's breast, staining it red from that day to this. Ever since, Gran said, the robin's red breast reminds us of Christ's sacrifice and how much he cares. The robin's song is the first sign of spring, helping us remember that after Christ died, he rose again on the first Easter. Tressa insisted they color the rest of the eggs robin blue. Gran taught her how to cut wings and heads and tails for the Easter birds they'd hang from the trees in the morning. When Tressa woke up on Easter morning, she ran to Gran's to hang their Easter birds. As she tiptoed beneath the robin's nest, something crunched under her shoe. Jagged chips of blue shell lay scattered over the ground. "Gran!" she cried as she burst into the house. "The eggs! They're broken!" Gran called Tressa up to her room. "Take a look." Under the mother robin's wings sat 4 scrawny baby robins, eyes closed and mouths wide open. "They're alive!" Tressa exclaimed. She watched the daddy robin drop bits of food into the babies' mouths. "God takes care of his creatures," Gran whispered. Through the window pane, Tressa could see the robin's red breast, bright against the sunrise. She was sorry she ever doubted God's care. From then on, whenever she saw a robin or felt worried, she'd think of the legend, and she'd remember all Jesus went through on that first Easter. Thank you, she prayed, for the robins and for Jesus. Outside, the wind howled, but the robins' joyful chirping came through loud and clear. To Tressa, it sounded like they were wishing her a happy Easter. She answered them, "Happy Easter to you too." And happy Easter to you too. We have such hope, so much hope. I'm going to copy this page and put it on your Google Classroom for you to see. It just gives some information about the legend. And such a sweet book. 3.9. I hope you'll take the AR test. I love you so, so much. I'm praying for you. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you back here soon with another story. Love you. Bye.